We're live. Hello, my name is Jamie J. I am the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distance Assistance, and this is Live with Bottleneck, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and in your life. And I am super excited to have Iyman on the call with us today. And we're going to be talking about Dubai's daughter and the nonprofit, the 501c3 that she's doing. So bear with us a moment, and we'll kick this thing off in about 38 seconds. Hello and welcome to Live with Bottleneck. I'm your host, Jamie J., also CEO, founder, and shareholder of Bottleneck Distance Assistance, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and in your life. And I am super honored. We're going to be talking about business etiquette with Iyman Bradwell-El, founders of Dubai's daughter. And I'm going to try my best to pronounce this right. I will stand corrected, as Iyman has been kind enough to instruct me to pronunciation. I mean, no disrespect to Iyman as we go through this, but Iyman is the co-founder of Dubai's daughter, which is named after her mother in Adoration. She has always helped others and decided to put her education, hard work, and love for others together in a non-profit program for young ladies ages 15 to 17. Now, Dubai's daughter focuses on business etiquette, business administration, and communication. The program is a 40-hour program that encompasses women business owners as guest speakers. And this will give them a guide of discipline in the real business world, and we all need that. She serves as co-chair on the NAF-IT Nonprofit Advisory Committee for Rocky River High School. She's secretary treasurer for BNI South Park Producers, co-founder of Samad Sons, which is the equivalent of Dubai's Daughters for young men of the same age, which is awesome. Men of the Matthews Chamber of Commerce, and leader of Alignable's Hiring Best Practices and Leaders Education and Youth Professionals Group. Holy moly, she's got a lot going on. But any further ado, please allow me to introduce you to Iyman. Welcome to Live with Bottleneck. How are you?
Hi, Jamie. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited to chat with you. I'm a big believer in nonprofits, and more so, I remember back in the day when I was in school, I didn't even learn how to write a check. I didn't learn anything. And even today, as far as I know today, being a little bit older and not around I have grandkids now, but they don't teach that kind of stuff in school. And it's almost like, and this is no knock on the school system. I'm a huge believer in education, but it's almost like, man, we're not preparing somebody for the future correctly, because now they got to go experience hard knocks and they have no inclination on what to do. And I wonder if maybe you can jump in and fill the gaps a little bit about what it is that you do and how you're helping our young, bright Americans.
Yes, that I think you're exactly right, and that's the reason why we're doing this because I'm just as old as you, if not older, and I remember we didn't have that either. I remember my daughter, who's 28 years old now, said she had maybe a class or two of business etiquette. Yeah, that's not enough. When your child leaves home, first of all, you should have taught them everything you could possibly teach them. That is your responsibility as a parent, guardian, aunt, uncle, whoever it is, grandparent. But then you're putting them into the school system, and it is their job to teach them how to live beyond mom and dad, how to live out in the real world, how to start businesses or become incorporated in a business. And that includes business etiquette.
Can you define business etiquette in your own definition, your own words?
Yes, business etiquette to me is business manners. Business manners. So as we grow, we were taught manners. Yes, sir. Thank you. Please. All of those things. Going into the business world, it's a little different. You're using the same somewhat lingo, but it is how you act, dress, and talk. It's your verbals, it's your nonverbals, it's how you communicate. And you have to be very, very mindful that you're doing these things. You going into a company are doing these things. But what if you go into a company that does not display any of this? A toxic environment, so to speak. But you are going in with these manners. So you're able to quickly identify the difference between a good environment and a toxic environment, right? You're going to stand out a little bit more because you are exemplifying these business rules, this business etiquette versus your coworker, manager, even all the way up to the top, right? So I love this part.
Okay, so the very first chapter of my book is all about company culture, is all about positive culture versus a toxic environment. So what you're speaking, that's my language. I absolutely love this. And some of the things that like going into the real world versus, I guess not the real world, but the adult world, right? Because it's still the
Right.
real world when we're younger. But moving into this environment, there's a lot of new things that you've always been told what to do and where to be and what, how, you've always been told in a structured environment, especially coming from the educational system. But when you leap out into
The real world.
I guess the real world, the adult world,
Yes.
for me, that leap was going into the military. Yes, you're told what to do, but there's a lot of things you got to figure out that you were never told. And then when I went from military into corporate, oh my gosh, there was another whole set of rules I had to learn that I didn't know about. And
Right.
there was, had I had a chance to kind of prepare for that, or at least set myself up with some expectations of what I might expect to come into, and then how to deal with those. Oh my gosh, what a difference it would have made. I mean, it took me 12 years to kind of figure that out.
And you had to figure it out, which is the bumps and the bruises and the yeses and the nos and the disappointments in yourself and other people being disappointed in you. There's so many things that comes in figuring it out when someone should be helping you. It is our job as older adults. We're leaving this world to them already, with a really high financial deficit. The least we can do is help them figure out business.
So I have a question, and
Yes, sir.
and this comes my wife. She said, Jamie, I was never given a manual for my daughter. I was never given a manual, and I had to figure a lot of things out on the fly. So for a lot of us parents, for a lot of parents out there, guardians, whomever that may be, they may not know or comprehend that this is a very teachable moment. So what do you offer these children? I know 15 to 17, they would probably glare at me for calling them children, but for these children to kind of maybe fill that gap for, and I don't blame the parent. They may not, it's one of those things, you just may not know what you don't know.
Exactly.
So what do you do to help these kids, make that transition?
Okay, so first of all, we speak with the child first, and they are children. Although they're teenagers, they're not adults. They're considered. I call them young ladies and young men, out of respect, right? Because I demand and command respect back from them, so I try to give it to them. In the interview process, though, I do speak with them about what our program is, what it will do for you in the future. But I also speak to parents. So I interview parents as well, because the child could be very interested, but If you don't have a support system, then it's not going to work. And then vice versa. The parents could see the value in a program like this, but if the student is not interested, it doesn't work either. So we have to get them on the same page. We have to let them know um, going into business or even leaving home, things are going to be totally different because, like you said, you're making your own decisions now. Let's help you make positive decisions.
Mhm.
Let's get you on a positive path. If you decide to go left, it will be your choice, but you will know the right way, right? I often tell them, every one of my students, to pick your friends
Mm.
versus your friends picking you. And that's in life. Pick your spouse versus your spouse just picking you. That way, you're not following along with everything that they say, good or bad. You have a mind of your own. You
Mm.
need to be confident, very, very confident in who you are. You need to stand with confidence. You need to straighten your crown. For the young ladies, straighten your crowns. You are important. I love this age group because they have something to say.
Mm.
We don't listen. So they shut down. You ask them how they're doing. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm fine. That's because our listening skills aren't as good as we think they are, right? Or they're not. I'm a parent too. I was a single parent for a little while as well. But you know what? There's nothing more important to me than my daughter.
Mm.
So I
And she knows
learned,
that.
oh, she knows that. She knows that. I have my first grandchild who will be a year in June.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much. What's the most important thing to me? My daughter. She's my child. She's a female. She is of color. She is educated. All of these things. She's got all of this stuff. And I know she had to be watching me. Kids watch their parents.
Yeah.
Kids mimic their parents. Now you have some really bad apples, Jamie, but you've got some really good ones, that want
Mhm.
to break cycles. And this is what we're doing. We're breaking cycles. And I love how you said there are some parents out there that don't know what they don't know. That's why programs, and it's not just my program, but programs like mine, nonprofits in this area or across the country are available. If you're not sure how to handle something with your child, please look for resources.
Mhm.
There are resources out there.
Yeah, that's a really good message. You know, it's powerful listening to you. And when you say we're not as good as listeners as we might think, you nailed it right on the head again. And as a matter of fact, I actually studied the word listen for an entire year. And
Wow.
we came up with a word of the year every year. Listen intentfully and soulfully to engage notably. That's what listen to us means. And that has transcended the years since then, and we still use that analogy, or acronym, I'm sorry, to focus on listening. And it's really hard because, especially for me, when I get excited, I'm like, no. I just like, but I don't learn anything. I don't learn anything. So I have
Yeah.
to really like, okay, hold on a
You
second.
back up a little bit. Let me stop.
Yep.
Put my listen, put my
Ask an
ears on.
open-ended question. God gave me 2 ears, one mouth. Use what he gave me more of, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you have to. A lot of people, they give this generation such a hard time.
Mm,
You know why? Because the technology's here. They want everything fast. They don't want to work for. Okay, so if the technology was around when I was a kid, a teenager, I would have wanted it too. So we put ourselves up on these very, very high pedestals, and we're putting them down. That's
mm,
meet in the middle somewhere. First of all, you're not supposed to be on a pedestal. I would never put myself on a pedestal when it comes to my child. My child is very important to me, but she's doing great things in the world. She's very important. Is your child very important to you, Jamie? Your children?
Absolutely.
Everyone should feel that same way. Everything I have to give, I gave to my daughter. And guess where I got it from? My mom.
Your mom.
My parents. My parents were married for 51 years before my mother passed.
Wow.
Right? My father is still here. He'll be 80 this year. But everything that I've learned from my parents, my older siblings, right? We didn't have the aunt uncle structure that a lot of people have now.
Yeah.
That's that village that they're talking about, the grandparents, the aunts and uncles and all that. I'm a great aunt. I'm an aunt. I'm a very involved aunt because it does take a village. So if I'm taking my time with someone else's children, participants, for instance, that's in our program, why wouldn't I have taken time with my nieces and nephews?
Exactly.
Doesn't sound right, right?
Nope.
So Samad Sons, which is our the boys organization for the equivalent of Dubai's daughter, my 17-year-old nephew is co-founder.
Oh wow, that is cool.
Right. That's what you do, right? We're breaking cycles. First of all, we are leaving a legacy. We are teaching these young ladies and young men things that truly their parents don't know yet. Or if they do know, they don't think their child is ready for it. These children are so advanced. Oh my God.
And flexible.
Wow.
And
yes.
You don't know how far they can bend. They're so resilient.
Yeah, they really are. But we put a lot on them. We put a lot on them in different ways. So we have included, which is it's not, I'm sorry, on my bio, but we have included mental health because our students asked for it. Our last class of participants asked for it. And here's why. We're all going through COVID. COVID has just been awful to us all in many different ways. As adults, we immediately, when it came to our children, we immediately thought about washing your hands, right? Staying in the house, staying masked up, making sure we're not around anyone where they could lose their lives. Not the child, but the adults could lose their lives. We've all done that. What we did not do was ask them, how are they doing? How are you coping with this? Let's talk about it as a family, or mother-child, or father-child, aunt-child, grandparent-child, whatever. Let's talk about this. Now they're so closed off. They have social phobias. That's an awful thing to have as a teenager, a social phobia.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did.
Yeah.
This is a very impressionable age, huh?
It is. And this is peer. I'm talking peer to peer. I'm talking friend to friend at 15, 16, 17. You've got a phobia of talking to someone because you're right. When COVID hit, it was right in the middle of when your brain starts developing certain things. You shut down, right? So you're not able to learn that. Sad, true, right? We could have, and we should still be asking them, how are they? How did COVID affect you? You know why? They're in their rooms all the time. They might FaceTime with some people. They might text. But let a parent ask them how they're doing and they shut down. You can't go through life like that. I don't know how my child is doing. That would tear me up.
Yep.
I need to know.
Yeah, and I can understand. I get where you're at. I can understand why someone, I have a friend, and he was a principal at a school, and then he went on to be a coach where he coached principals to become better leaders. And he said the most difficult was grade school and high school.
Yes.
Grade school, their attention is not very easy to capture. High school, they kind of know what they're doing. They know everything. Middle school, pretty impressionable. They're just at the point where they're maybe figuring out, well, I want to be a fireman. I want to be a nurse. I want to be and it's they're starting to, like you said, with technology and stuff, they're starting to advance a little bit quicker, but they're still impressionable. And it's like, man, the other people in the school can be so mean, but I think a lack of confidence almost invites that. I'm hitting a little bit close to home here, because I was not very confident in high school, not confident at all. And and you're right, I let other people pick me as their friends, and I didn't really pick. I was a little bit, I was afraid, I was shy, I was, if we, and I think about my wife's daughter. Because of COVID, she didn't get to go to prom.
Right.
Right.
Oh God.
Little things like that. Well, I was the guy that would sit on the bench at the dance because my mom or aunt or somebody would take a bunch of us and drop us off. I couldn't stand that stuff.
Wow.
And it took me a little bit later in life to kind of figure out, hey, I need to start, being better. So had I had a platform to kind of help me gain some confidence and direction, I probably would have been a lot better off.
Yeah.
I'm glad my life experience has been what it's been, because I wouldn't be who I am today otherwise, and I really like who I am.
Yeah.
But at the same time, boy, what you're doing to help these kids prepare for this life is amazing. Because I think that knowledge is confidence.
Yes. Yes.
So how do you do that? How do you give them that confidence? How do you share with them or instill confidence so that when they take that first step outside of what they're used to, they can move into it with authority?
I think it's just the way that I talk, right? It's just the way that I talk. I talk like this all the time. Doesn't matter who I'm talking to. This is me, right? I'm not your friend. I'm not here to be your friend. We're okay. I can be friendly, but I'm not your friend. I'm an adult. So I am an authoritative figure. Treat me as such. I miss Iyman. I'm yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and all of that. And the minute they let it slip, because it goes away real quick, I said, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. And then they come right back, because that means you've heard what I said, right? How do I get them to be confident? I let them speak. I ask them questions. I expect an answer. If I ask you a question, I expect an answer, but it's not one of these hard, I'm waiting, answer me now. It's not one of those. I can give them examples of things and to jar their memory. And now you want to participate. We smile, we laugh, we joke, we do a lot of things in class, but we learn, right? I have, in this class alone, 3 students that have 4.2 GPAs.
Wow.
Right. Unbelievable. And they still have that angst. It's this thing with Zoom now, because all of our classes are online.
Mm-hmm.
It's this thing now where it's called spotlighting, right? So if I call on you, and the way that you've got the screen going back and forth, so when I'm speaking, the screen comes out a little bit. Well, it puts that person right in front of everybody, right? So I don't do that. I just have everybody's on the same page, right? I have them just the other last class we had, matter of fact, I had them talk about the meaning of their names. Let's do a breakout room. Let's discuss what your name means. Now that we know what your name means, take rename yourself. So we have different things on there like the Jordan River or something like that. Queen of the Mountains or something. This is what your name is. I know who you are, but it's just little small things like that that is inviting and fun, and it's different. It's different. But Jamie, I'm the same person. I talk to the parents just like I talk to the children. You know, I want to invite the parents to. Oh, I have. You can join it at any time. You
That's
can,
awesome.
kids. You all can. You're at home. I want you to be comfortable at home, right? You can have your Zoom volume on so your parents can hear exactly what we're saying. Because you know what? I would say the same thing if they were in the classroom.
Yep.
That means this is no show. This
Full
I'm not trying to
transparency.
right. I'm not trying to hide anything, sugarcoat anything. I'm telling you, real world, right?
Really.
One of the things for me, one of the reasons why I decided to do business etiquette as well as like when I was telling you about you going into a business, right? You need to know the handshake, right? You need to know eye contact. You need to know that. You need to know about nonverbals, right? You need to know when to talk, when not to talk, things like that. And dressing appearance. Oh, that's great. That's you going in. And then I said, well, what about the people that have been there for a long time, Jamie? What about them? Okay. They have been there so long and they are toxic, or they can get away with whatever, and no one says anything. Well, do you want to be there? Or don't you want to know the difference? Don't you want to be able to discern between who's good for you and who's bad for you? Who's doing good things for you? Who's doing bad things to you? You need to know the difference between that now. Not wait until you have been there for years and then all of a sudden you're just so fed up and I want to quit, right? No, you need to know that going in. So for me, as a 16-year-old working at a restaurant, I was sexually harassed by a manager. Now, in my lifetime, it's been 3 times I've been sexually harassed. But the first time I was a teenager. Now, you know what I could have done, right? I could have gone home to my parents. That would have changed things. Everything would have been different. But I thought about it. I did not want my parents in trouble. I didn't want them hurt. I didn't want them in jail, right? I didn't want them killed, all of these things. And I've said this to my young ladies, and I say it every class. What I did was my sister worked with me, my sister-in-law worked with me. I didn't mention it to them. I just thought I could handle it. It got so bad to where he was giving me all of the awful jobs in a restaurant. Wash all the dishes, clean the bathrooms, mop the dining room, all of that. And the boys were cleaning the table and cleaning the windows down. But he was digging on me because I was thwarting your advances, right? But what could have happened, right? All I think about now is what could have happened. Like, I could have been missing. Nobody would have thought it was the manager. Nobody. Because I didn't say anything. I ended up quitting. I ended up quitting.
Good for you.
But it was only after I had like enough. I'm done. And I was a quiet, shallow or something too. But I knew the difference between right and wrong because my parents taught me. What I did not know was there's a chain of command. He's a manager. He's a man. I could have gone to his supervisor, their supervisor, all the way up.
Yep.
Right? He could have been in jail, at least fired from the job. And if I had said something, then there was going to be other females to come out and say the same thing.
Yep. You could have been the leader.
Exactly. But I didn't. I quit. Next time, I was in my 20s this was actually before I had my child. I remember my mother coming to get me on my birthday. I was working at this place, the buy here, pay here furniture rental.
Yeah.
We got a shipment to come in, Jamie, of the couches, and it was my birthday. I was dressed up. I'm always dressed up, but I was dressed up. And this guy had me on my knees. Right now, I'm very modest. I'm always modest. So I had a skirt on, nice jacket. So I knew to pull my skirt down and tuck it between my knees as I'm doing this. But he had me on the floor putting the feet on the couch. And when my mother walked through that door and saw me, you know how moms talk through their teeth, through their lips? That's what I got. Get up and you don't have to go back.
Doing?
Right. I am so surprised that my mother didn't say anything, but I'm an adult. At that point, I should be able to handle this. But my mom was like, no way. You don't have to do it. We don't do these things. Sorry.
That's okay.
Please excuse me. I have water.
There you go. Yeah, well, I hear you. It could be challenging, and holy cow, I can only imagine what Sarah, my wife, would have done in that situation.
Yes, or my father. Oh my God, I handled it. I didn't go back.
Good for you.
But it's so sad that you don't know the chain of command. That's something we teach them. There's always somebody above them, right? It's a very exciting program. It's a very needed program. Um, I'm not sure why the school system is not teaching this. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, you would even think that you could attach yourself to schools. Do you do that right now? Attach yourself to the schools?
I am. I'm with two of our public high schools right now.
Good.
And on our board of directors, I have, for one organization, I have the career development coordinator as our student representative, right? And then for the boys program, I have the dean of students from the other high school.
Fantastic. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Long time coming. Not really, because we started in July 2020. So this is not a long time.
It's relatively quick, yeah.
Yeah. Very quick.
Well, so I want to respect your time. We're getting pretty lengthy into this, and boy, I could talk another 30 minutes because I still have a million questions. But how do people get in touch with you if they want to learn more about this?
Okay, well, first of all, we've got a website, and it's DabisDaughter.org.
Okay.
So hopefully it's showing up. It does show up here. It's
let me see.
DabisDaughter.org. You can actually, okay, you can actually Google my name, Iyman Bradwell-El. It just pops up.
I would imagine there's not too many Iyman Bradwell-El's out there.
There's not. There's not at all. No. But we're very happy with what we're doing because we know that it's needed. It's so needed. When you're going into the business world, there are so many things you need to know.
Yep.
There are so many things that some of the workers there need to know as adults. They really do. And I push education as well, Jamie. I push education. I realize, though, that four-year college is not for everybody. But after 12th grade, you should be doing something. Get a certification, go to the military, a community college, a 2-year college, something. Right? Because these are entrepreneurs that are coming up. These are CEOs, COOs, all of that are coming up. These are the workers, right? And this generation, they're at a point where I don't really want to keep making you rich. Right? I don't want to keep working for you and making you rich. I want to do my own. So we teach that too. We teach the very first thing we teach is business structures, such as sole proprietorships, LLCs, nonprofits, the pros, the cons, all S corps, C corps, all of it. And it's a very boring class. However, we don't know if we have the next Oprah, Bill Gates. We don't know who's in our class. We don't know who we are in contact with right now. So we do the best with everybody we have.
I love that. Thank you for sharing your gift of knowledge with so many young people. I just think it's amazing that that this is there, and it gives an opportunity for our younger generation to step into the world with confidence. I said that before, I'll say it again. It's such a huge difference. And I really think a lot of us need to get into it. And the challenging part, I get it. The challenging part is you got teenagers doing their teenage stuff and hard-headed, think they know it all. But those few that you can get into the program to really help them transition, you've only been doing this for 2 years, but look another 10, 15 years. Where are they going to be?
Exactly.
Those mentors coming back to share their stories.
Exactly. I didn't know what a mentor was. I've been doing this since my child was in junior high school. So it's wonderful to have. Her husband was actually one. It's wonderful to have those friends of hers come back and say, "Thank you, Miss Iyman."
Oh.
Mama L. They call me all of these enduring terms, and I mean, I just absolutely love it. My daughter picked her friends. She picked well. Very, very well. There's even an FBI involved in all of this. So
wow.
It's 5 of them in there. Exceptional. Which is why I know this works.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, again, thank you for your time today. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we wrap?
Take time with your child.
Yep.
Everything is not about you. Even if you're a first-time parent and you're learning, because we all learn, we have to learn. I remember telling my daughter, this is my first time being a parent, just like it's your first time being a child. So we're learning together on some things. But I am the parent, right? Take time with your child. Make sure you're getting an honest answer out of them. Now, I don't know how you trick them to get it, but it is up to you. I would rather my child tell me something that I really didn't want to hear versus them telling somebody out in the street. Please talk to me. So connect with your children.
And don't give them a hard time when they finally get truthful with you.
Because you asked for it, right?
And the second you say, well, they're never going to open up again.
Never again, Jamie. You're so right. So, calm down, wait on the answer. So, and this is what I was told in business. You ask a question and then you wait for the answer. And then you wait to respond. So that's patience. You have to learn patience. But you need to know your child better than anyone in the world. How in the world can you protect them, be there for them, if you don't know what they're doing? Right?
I love it. Listen to understand, not to respond, right?
Listen, hear them, understand them, then respond. Exactly. Yes.
I love it. Well, can you hold on a quick second and I can wrap up?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Iyman.
You're welcome. Thanks, Jamie.
So I've been talking with Iyman. There is a ton of good opportunities. You have to reach out to Iyman, and you can do that. You can go to wsdaughter.org. She's all over social media. You can Google Iyman Bradwell-El. You will not find another one, most likely. And it's Iyman Bradwell-L. And we talked about business etiquette for young women and young men. And I think it's just fantastic. So I'm an entrepreneur. I love entrepreneurism. I love the spirit of creating something out of absolutely nothing. And that takes some, I don't know what to say, but that takes some serious, there's a lot of stuff going on because it's really hard to do something like that. It's scary. It's the first time ever doing it. You are all of a sudden responsible for everything. But there has to be entrepreneurs in this world. There has to be vision makers in this world. Otherwise, we won't create new things. We won't solve the challenges that we don't even know are going to exist in the future. So hats off to Iyman for doing all that she's doing and helping these kids gain a ton of confidence. I'll go ahead and wrap up now. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. Really appreciate that. And if you would like to see other episodes similar to this one, you can go to bottleneck.online/BTV. That's Bottleneck Television. Learn how you can break through the bottleneck in your business today. Also, check out my book, Quit Repeating Yourself, How Today's Leaders Are Using Systems and Processes to Grow Their Business the Right Way. I absolutely had a blast getting that out. I really loved it. We've been talking to Iyman Bradwell-El. We've talked about business etiquette for our young Americans. And then previously, if you missed this, it was a great time. I had all my assistants, not all of them, some of my assistants come on, and they said we had a nice conversation about what it means to be a dedicated, distant assistant. So had a lot of fun with that. And coming up next, coming soon to your earbuds, the key to growth, building a pivot-ready team. I'll be talking with Dirk Van Reenen. He's a founder and CEO of Birdflow, and that's coming up Wednesday, April 20th at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been talking with Iyman Bradwell-El. We talked about business etiquette for our youth, 15 to 17-year-olds, and her programs, what she's got going on there. Please go visit and learn more about what she's going on. Without any further ado, please remember, and I think it's right up here, create your own ripple. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you again soon.